Hello, I'm Toycat, and Minecraft recently confirmed they're removing a world option that most people didn't even know existed because it is the old world type. That's right, you can play Minecraft just like the old days when it first came out. The worlds were 256 by 256 blocks and the height limit was 128, and that is true in the old world type. Want to access the never or the end? Bad luck, you literally cannot on the old world type, and so 99.9% of players have avoided this option because it's pretty bad in most ways and you'd be pretty crazy to spend any amount of time on it, which is why I spent 100 days surviving in an old world, and today I'd like you to join me on that journey after you hit the subscribe button, of course, if you want to see more weird survival challenges. So let's jump into it. So day one is going to be all about getting a lay of the land. What do I have going on around me? And as you can see, it's actually shaping up to be a pretty decent old-sized world. You can see that in exchange for having a village, which is a big win, I do have the kind of big downside of so many rivers. I mean, I got a fair number of biomes, so it makes sense that some of that is rivers, but there's just so many of them. I don't know how that's even possible. But for now, we need to work out our first place to sleep. Usually you're meant to chop down wood as the first thing you do in a day, but when you've got a village, it's actually very easy to make a house. You just walk into someone else's, take their bed, take their chest, and now you're like halfway there. I don't want to brag, but my house is doing pretty damn fine so far, if you don't mind me saying. It is the dawn of the second day, and my big plan for this day is to actually go mining. All I've ended up with at the end of day 2 is some gold and some coal, but I guess that's fine. There's always day 3. Although day 3 is here now, and I think it's important we start the basics for an actual decent food farm. I don't mind bread, it's very easy to get given that villagers have hay bales, but I think we can do a little bit better, and so I saw a sheep over there a second ago, but he might have despawned. So I've got 1 sheep, 1 cow, and then I've got this. It is a cow that has somehow spawned in the middle of a tree, but I'll take it. Okay, I've now officially found every ore besides diamond, and maybe redstone too, actually. Once you mine the blocks on the edge of the world, it doesn't look like something else is over here. Instead, there's just this weird, oh god, there's just this weird view where nothing exists anymore because there is nothing outside that border, not even me. It is an empty world and it's very scary to look at. But that's the world for you. So every day going forwards, we're going to breed the cows at least once, and you're going to see the exponential increase from 2 cows to 3 cows to now 4 cows. Today, I'm finally going to build some walls for my house, because you know, I've decided I don't like the villager coming in every night and sleeping in my bed. Yeah, I've seen you. I'm bothered by it. I want to have my house amongst the villagers, but I don't want the villagers to think that I'm one of them. That would be a tragedy of untold proportions, so I'm going to steal the villager house design, but maybe make a little alteration or two to it. Oh my god! Well, there goes the house. It took until day 5, but here is my house ready and complete. And I think it's an absolute beauty of a house too. Let me give you a tour actually. First of all, the moat. As you can see, villagers or other animals won't be able to jump inside this thing. You know, creepers perhaps would not be able to get in. Not that I have any experience of that. And then on the inside, you can see it's got all the essentials. You might say it's a bit small, but I say it's well packed because the best bit of all that you're probably not even thinking about is the 9 furnaces I have installed up here. How did you get in here? Oh my god, he just disappeared through the window too. What is happening to him? Oh, he can go in via the corner. I wish I could sleep in beds that way. Wait, can I? I cannot. So I wake up on day 6 and this villager is just really taunting me. Come on, man. You're gonna have to leave. No, you will leave my house. Okay, I guess he stays. Hey, diamonds! Heck yeah. So the trick is, when you find 8 diamonds as your first vein, only ever take 5 of those diamonds. Oh, there's no obsidian. How am I going to make a crafting table, an enchanting table? No, the tip won't work here. I was feeling so smug. I was going to make an enchantment table, but how's that going to... You know, okay. If I want enchanted goods, I have to trade for them. The diamonds can only be used to make things. I have to buy... Whatever, you know what, here's my point. I'm upgrading straight to diamond tier. Okay, so hear me out. I don't have a single part of my world that has ice in it, which means that if I want to get ice, or indeed blue ice, the only way is to trade with a wandering trader. The wandering trader actually has a use in Minecraft, you just have to be playing on an old world type. However, the problem here is that too much of my identity is tied up in convincing people that the wandering trader is useless, so here's me just now proving that we can in fact get our own ice. So this is the tiniest little mountain biome that exists in the corner of my Minecraft world. And just to prove a point, at the very, very edge of the world, I'm going to show what the height limit is, just so you can really get a feel for that. But also, something you might not know is that the height of a biome affects its temperature, meaning that obviously the top of a mountain has snow. Everyone sees that, that's a visual thing. But the much more interesting thing is that if we go high up enough here, you should be, oh god! I'm glad I saved myself there. If we go high up enough here, we should be, okay, that time, I did not save myself. Why did the crouching not work? I was crouched that whole time, and I just fell off the block. Well, it's a good thing. What are you doing in my house? Well, day 7, first Minecraft death. Okay, I wish I was joking when I said this. This sounds like the dumbest and most unimportant prank in the world. But for some reason, crouching doesn't work at the edge of old worlds. I don't understand. But yeah, if you ever wanted to crouch over the edge of a block, you can only do that. Oh god, where am I? Okay, you can only do that at the edge of these worlds. And so yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to make a nice flat cobblestone surface because, you know, I want to have a big old pit of ice here. So my plan to make ice might have flooded an entire section of the world, but otherwise entirely successful. One of the cool things about old worlds is if you want to make a resource go extinct, you just can. So, for instance, I have a lovely birch house, so I can chop down every single other birch tree in the land. 3 full days later, and the birch forest is finally extinct. All of the birch logs are now in my inventory, and I can take all of these saplings, and I can choose to do if I want them, even burning them to make some stakes if I really want. I thought this would be a good endpoint for this, but then I realized if I want birch to truly be extinct, there's birch in regular forests as well. Look at those birch over there, taunting me. So you know what we're doing tomorrow? Making a chest to put all of our birch logs in. Okay, these are the final 2 birch trees. Chopping down every single one of these has kept me up long into the night, but I can finally say on day 11, we have all of the birch logs for myself. There's a lot of garbage rivers around here, like this thing over here. You know, there's just too many rivers in this world, and you know what the easiest way to fix rivers is? It's to go in with a shovel, and it's to do it yourself. Let's go ahead and let's seal up this little section of the river entirely. It doesn't need to exist. So one of the cool benefits of having an old style world, I guess you could get this in any world, but like this is my entire world that I'm slowly seeing the map change for in front of my eyes. And every time I place a block, it is, you know, like 1-to-1 represented, or I think it might be a 2-to-2 block, but like you're seeing every time blocks are being placed, it's actually affecting the map in a way I think it's cool. Look at that. You can see what I just built live right there. Every night I come home and there's just zombies all over the world, and 1 iron golem isn't enough to cope. So I've got 2 ways I could deal with. Look at that. There is a husk literally killing a villager as I speak. Oh god, no, come on. It's gonna be fine. But it's a huge problem for me, and it's actually easy enough to fix. Because the world is 256 by 256 blocks, and you need to place a block every 6 blocks in each direction, and then every half of that, we only need 1,600 torches to light up the entire world. And given that I don't even really need to light up the whole thing at once, I feel like that's an easy enough target, so I'm going to light up the entire village just to stop this happening every time I get home. I want to tell you that it looks beautiful at night, and it really does in a way, but the creeper really... the creeper treading on my crops really does not help that theory in the slightest. So, you know what? It's nice, but it's got some holes in. So I'm making some really good progress here. I like it. The river has been cut off from one of its other weird directions that for some reason it goes into. But something I am noticing, because I'm going to head home for the day, I have to cross 2 rivers to get there. One of the most essential pieces of Minecraft infrastructure is a bridge, and given that I'm going from relatively flat terrain to relatively flat terrain, but having to go across this monstrous gap over here, it's just something I can't deal with. So let's build ourselves a bridge that takes us from here to there. And just like that, we have this lovely bridge crossing, and because I'm very good at sophisticated building, we all know, I've also made this second bridge, which will take me back home with no issues whatsoever. No elevation changing for me, no thank you. I'm just kidding, of course. I mean, obviously, these first few blocks have to have slabs on them, so you don't have to jump between them. It just goes without saying that you need to have slabs when you're moving between diagonal fences. It's just a big convenience for the user. So I don't know entirely how or when it happened, but my village lost its iron golem, and as a result, a lot of its population. I have narrowed down the number of villagers down to just a single guy chilling over here. I've got a cleric who lives in his lonely hut, but otherwise, I don't see any other villagers. Of course, there was a nitwit who was just asleep even though it's midday. I'm glad you exist, actually. You know, I need to get these villagers breeding today. I cannot delay this anymore. Let's do some villager breeding. I've stumbled across a bit of an issue in that the villagers don't want to meet up. I don't know why that is, but one of the villagers stays in his house all day, never goes to the center, and the unemployed villager just looks back at what used to be a birch forest and misses how things used to be. Okay, I'm gonna pull what we in the business call a pro gamer move. My extremely smart idea is to move their beds next to each other. So, one Minecraft bed, one Minecraft bed. Now they'll be forced to sleep together. Oh my, how did he just... How did the... That seriously just happened. No, I do not accept that. You are going to the other bed, which is just a little pushing, just a little shoving. He is committed to his spot here, it seems. Okay, there we go. Come on, man. There's a bed over here. You can glitch through the wall to this one if you want to. Okay, you use the door, will you? That's nice. Oh, it's happening! Heck yeah! Yeah, I played... Oh, no, it's not happening. Hey! A villager came out anyway. Oh, what the... What? Did I get blown up by... Toycat fell from a high place? What? Huh? Huh? This world is so glitchy. The game decides every now and then, if you're in the wrong part of the world, you die. And that's nice. Did you know I cannot enchant? Have I complained about that yet? I probably haven't. But I can fix that if I just get myself a little smithing table. If there is a smithing table in there, which there is, then this villager will become a blacksmith, a toolsmith. And now I just have to buy or sell enough things to him, and I'll be able to buy diamond enchanted tools. So that is my way around that. It's going to take a lot of coal, or a lot of stone shovels though. 64 coal is so much when it comes to torches, but it's so little when it comes to trading, which proves the point once again that, like, you know, traders just are so stingy. I just can't in good conscience trade 15 coal for 1 emerald and not feel like a sucker. So I'd like a Fletcher villager in the near future. It's one of my favorite types, but you need to trade sticks of them in pretty large quantities. So to prepare for that, I'm gonna chop down some oak trees. Okay, the plan today is to get a lot of villagers, assuming these two villagers can work out their relationship, which, hey, there we go. We're gonna start breeding some villagers. I still just take damage randomly while walking around this world, and I don't fully understand it. Anyway, so I had another kind of cool idea. Given that a lot of my terraforming is to do with rivers, what if I made this into a big dam? So normally this would already be a tricky enough endeavor. We're gonna be doing this by hand, and before sponges, what you did is you just filled it up with dirt, or in this case, we're gonna use some sand. It's gonna be a big project, but hopefully it's a fun one. So my plan to dam up this river is to do it old school, like I mentioned. We place a layer of sand, then we place a second layer of sand, and now we can remove that first layer of sand, and what do you know? All the water is gone. I spent days 25 to 29 continuing to replace the water blocks in the river with sand, and this sounds like a ridiculous Minecraft thing, but this is actually how they reclaim land in real life, so, you know, just saying, my land reclamation project, as I'm now calling it, is going pretty well. The villagers had to have a lot of babies for this to work, but I finally have a Fletcher, which means, guess what? I'm selling in my sticks for emeralds. I do have an idea as to how I can get to that beautiful enchanted diamond shovel that I oh so badly want. So I've got all of this gravel, and I'm gonna use this for my draining slash my dam project instead. 10% of this is gonna turn into flint, which usually is a bad thing, right? Except in this case, you know, that flint is gonna slowly turn into emeralds, slowly turn into an enchanted diamond shovel, which we all know I want very desperately. Okay, an entire day's worth of work today converted to 1 emerald. But a lot of experience, I guess. My god. Probably not a very good idea. Okay, I just had this great idea as to how I actually can get enchantments. I can get a lectern, I can get a villager that will sell me enchantments, and then I can add it to my own stuff manually. It'll be a lot of effort, but it'll be worth it, I think. All we need for the books is free paper and a little bit of leather. Wow, if only I'd started a sugarcane farm earlier, huh? I am so lucky. I not only found that one bit of sugarcane, or I guess the 6 bits of sugarcane, we also have one over there. I think Minecraft broke. Huh. Maybe my PC broke? No, it's on my Xbox. So, oh god, it just exploded. What? Yeah, we don't question how it works here, I guess. You know what? I'm just gonna bite the bullet and buy some diamond hose, because you know what we get when we do that? We get this lovely, it just has unbreaking on shovel. Well, you know what? It's something. Oh yeah, today's gonna be a fun day. You know why it's gonna be a fun day? Because I can finally use an enchanted shovel. Oh yeah, look at that. I mean, it's not faster, but look how every 25% of the time it doesn't use durability. You see how it's vibrating when I mine a block? Well, not that time. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, Unbreaking one is kind of a garbage enchantment, let's be honest. One of the things about this new video format, you know, taking 100 full days of Minecraft survival, that I'm starting to realize is like how different time is when it comes to different tasks. In the time it took me to move 4 layers of that water from the dam, I can take my forest from looking like this to looking something a little more like this. It's actually, because of all the tree leaves, it's hard to tell what I've chopped down. You know what, the point is, I have a lot of wood now that I didn't have before. It's hard to deny that this is one of the most satisfying things in Minecraft, right? Replacing a stack of sand with a torch. Honestly, it's worth draining an entire river just to be able to do this. Okay, I've decided to make my bridge more convincing, because you might say that, like, you know what, it's a great bridge, Toycat, but it just doesn't have enough of a reason to exist. It's not a very vertical gap between it, so let's deliberately make this a super vertical space, because I also need some more sand for the draining. It's very annoying having to pick up the same sand just to replace it over and over again. I want more sand at a time, so let's convert this into a bit more of a valley. Wow, look how necessary this little valley is all of a sudden, and oh, it's filled with cactuses. Guess I have to take the bridge now. See, this is an absurdly tiny world. There's nothing that should be causing lag, and yet, for some reason, sand doesn't fall anymore. I don't understand it. Also, pick block has stopped working. Oh, my inventory doesn't open either. Oh, there we go. It's all happened at once. That's nice. How did that happen and why? I don't know. That's probably why this world type isn't very recommended by Minecraft. Okay, you can disagree all you like, but I think that this looks beautiful by itself, and I almost want to leave it this way. Not just because I'm tired of placing sand and destroying it, but because I think it adds just a certain quality to this valley, because you can be so sure that I dammed it up by hand based on the water over there and the water over there, maybe. Or maybe I'm just trying to get out of placing sand. Every time I look at the anvil recipe, I'm like, oh yeah, you really do require that much iron, don't you? But do you know what the best place to find iron in Minecraft is, though? It's almost definitely by covering up your rivers in dirt. And then some iron will probably appear out of nowhere, I hope. Okay, so I was clearly lying when I said that, but I'm committed to proving things that are clearly lies to be truth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till some zombies spawn, and then I'm going to accept the dice roll that there is a 1 in 40 chance of getting some iron ingots when you kill a zombie. Also, wait. Okay. I would love to know what happened to that zombie. Again, the rules of old worlds don't make any sense. And now we have even more proof. But I'm going to get some chain armor to make my life feel slightly better as a result. Oh my god, it just happened again. Something about this area right here causes mobs to despawn midway through combat, and I would love to know what it is. Yep, this is really normal. This is how Minecraft is meant to be. It was designed to run this way, and don't you dare tell me otherwise. I'm not sure that we'll make it to 100 days before the world collapses in on itself, honestly. Something I'm going to finally do for myself is treat myself to a full set of armor. Wow. I mean, it's only leather, but we've all got to start somewhere. In case you're curious, the Sugarcane Farm has actually been going pretty well. In my experience, they just never grow. It's like a watched pot never boils. But today, look how much extra sugarcane we have. Let's take this out and let's see if when it's next to him, he can use it. Hey. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the good old piston strategy. That's something a lot easier said than done, but for now, we're just going to place the thing in the doorway here, and then we're going to see if he has the right trades. And when he doesn't, we break it, and so on and so forth. But again, I'm going to automate this in a little bit. For now, we can now get enchanted books. So one of the rare zombie drops that I picked up at some point in this run was some carrots. And I figured it would be fun if over here, what if we slowly convert it into a giant carrot farm, starting with this one carrot. Right now, it technically still is a giant carrot farm. It just doesn't have very many carrots in it. I'm going to spend the daytime shaving some mountains down a little bit. Partly because I want dirt, but partly because, you know, I want that mountain, the one with the ice farm on top, I want that to be the only mountain in the land. There's two ways to make something bigger. One is to make it bigger, and one is to make everything else smaller. I had an idea, by the way. Given that I am always cooking, like, meat in stacks of, like, 3, 4, 5, 6 or whatever, I just think I have to have a couple of campfires, and now I can cook without any worries about wasting coal or charcoal. Just throw it on the campfire. I'm also going to make myself a cauldron, because I'm going to do something about the fact that I can't get netherite armor. It sucks. I want netherite, but I can't get it. You know, I literally cannot go to the nether. So you know what the next best thing is? We can dye this water black, and then we can get ourselves a netherite chestplate. Oh, isn't it good? Isn't it accurate? Ooh, some netherite leggings too. Yeah, these are... Wow, I sure do love my netherite equipment. I have full protection against all attacks, that's for sure. This is definitely going to keep me safe from everything. So I finalized my mega plans for the rivers in this world, of which there are too many, we can all agree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal off, I've sealed off 2 over here as you can see. I'm going to seal off that exit and that exit as well. I'm going to like fill up all of these and all of that. Then I'm going to connect the 2 river systems. This river goes in and out from the village over there. What if that was actually 2 exits from this same river? So I'm going to remove this area right here, and then that's going to be the 2 points where the river flows, left and right. The left side is dammed, so it all goes to the right. So it's obviously a very rough version right here, but as you can see, it flows from the mountains, goes through there, doesn't turn right into the swamp, or off to the savannah, or off to the desert twice. Instead, it cuts through here, again, work in progress, and then flows in 2 directions, giving me one seamless river. Okay, this might be the messiest way I've ever had to do this, but now we can push the... See, look, he stops being a trading villager, and then, oh god, we have to undo this one. Okay, you know what? This is a really dumb project. The further you get into something like this, the more you start to realize that. But I am now starting to see the river taking shape. It's just taking a long time and a lot of dirt. I just realized if I'm going all in on making trees extinct anyway, the easiest tree to get rid of is the acacia tree. I mean, there's what, like a dozen of these? You know what, we might as well extinct a tree today. Let's play God a little bit more and make this tree type not exist anymore. Okay, you know what? I was meant to do that today, but instead I figured, you know what? I'm not making another iron axe, so I'm treating myself to some diamonds. Okay, we maybe got off track, but today we actually will make acacia go entirely extinct. Again, you'll always be able to get the wood and whatever I've built, but I like the idea that, like, you know what? If you're not me, if you don't know where the acacia saplings are, then no acacia for you. Aha! I did it. It actually did take most of a day, which is shocking given how few trees it was. But there is no longer any acacia trees. You know, honestly, should we just go the whole hog and just cut down all the trees in the world? You know what? No one wants to see it, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I didn't finish it yesterday, but in other more exciting news, the carrot empire is growing. But yeah, I think today, definitely, every tree in the world should be chopped down. I'm pretty sure. Like, you can see on the map, there's just this little corner with a few straggling trees. Let's get rid of them. Okay, it took me a whole second day to do it, but as you can see, minus these big green blobs, all the trees are extinct now. I let my girlfriend take the controls on day 52, and somehow she walked me into a campfire and actually killed me. And it's okay, we learned a valuable lesson here about why you shouldn't waste your diamonds on a hoe, am I right? Hee hee. It's crazy how much shorter the mountain looks once you shave it, I do have to say. And now I have all of this dirt to finish off my river diversion dreams. Okay, did you see what just happened there? I'm beyond confused. What, you just appeared over there? Is there a wormhole in this world somewhere? That's the only explanation that makes sense at this point. Okay, today is the day. we finally fill in the last of these old rivers. So this river, entirely dirted now. I'm hoping when it turns into grass, it looks less unwieldy, but that's fine. This river over here, isn't there something just acutely satisfying about the last block? There is. Okay, it's finally done. As you can see, we now have just one consistent river that flows in, then it flows out. Now all I need is, rather than having the river come in from out of map, which I think is not a great idea, I'm going to seal off the entrance over there. Okay, now the river comes in from nowhere, which seems like a problem. But what if, given I have an ice farm up there anyway, maybe there's a little spill at the factory, or the water factory, and then maybe water flows down the mountain. This is where the entirety of the water in this world comes from. So the water flows down the mountain, it turns into this little pool and reservoir, and then it slowly flows to the rest of the world. Okay, so I've decided I need unbreaking on anything that I enchant, so I'm gonna buy that. This also isn't meant to happen, but somehow the unbreaking free villager has become a mending villager, which is either the best coincidence in the world, or these two enchantments are related. Why am I addicted to dumb Minecraft projects? You know, could have used this as an opportunity to do anything brand new that I never would have normally done. But instead, I just stuck to doing the weird Minecraft projects that I always insist on starting. No, how did this happen? Oh, God. I'm legitimately upset at the second zombie apocalypse coming to my village. Okay, you know, I need to keep more of my villagers safe is the lesson that I'm learning from all these terrible things. So what I'm going to do is, rather than placing my beds out in the middle of a field, I'm going to start making a house around them that villagers will be... I don't want to use the word trapped in. That sounds a little bit evil, actually. Let's reword this. We're making a safe, all-inclusive living space for the villagers to spend their days at ease without having to wonder, you know, if there are dangerous things coming after them. Okay, so I've got this genius idea, right? Genius, I say! In the meantime, I make it so that more villagers can walk in, but not out. Villagers think they can pathfind on trapdoors, but then it just doesn't work correctly. So they'll think that, like, oh, there's a trapdoor in this block, I can stand here, and then they fall off, and they fall into the villager pit. Also today, I'm finally making the commitment to getting that looting free book. This is our first enchantment that's actually going to be improving the use of an item as opposed to just the durability. So boom, now I can kill cows. Oh, look at the returns on that. So much raw beef. 5 for 1 cow. Thank you. Today I'm going to go clear up the last of the trees that exist in this world. I mean, I said I wanted trees extinct and I meant it. So I'm going to be using my shears to get the leaf blocks just in case I ever want those. You know, I don't think you can officially say that you've experienced true power until you just decide to make a block go extinct in Minecraft. Like we've done for all of the oak leaves, which will now just slowly fade. We now have just pure plains to work with. Something everyone should do at some point is have a cactus farm. This is because I have an idea as to what to do with all of the sand and the gravel. Maybe after we finish draining that final bit of my river. Wow, that really is a big project, huh? By the way, I've now drained so much that all of the water is in the area of the world where I can't jump up because physics don't work. Which means I've had to invent this little bit of a method right over here. I've put a stone slab that I can walk onto. Then from here I have to jump. Again, I can't. I'm sprinting right now. The stair doesn't work. I have to jump up from there, and then I can be back on the land. Okay, I was right about removing almost all of the water, and I also realized why there are so many bouncing villagers. I thought their AI was just broken, but it's because they can't jump up here either, which means when I remove the water, I'll have like 5 functional villagers back in the village. But boom, now they can jump because it's land again. Hey! Oh, that was the closest I've been to death in a while. That was a real spicy situation there, huh? Okay, so we can't fully see it because of the world distance render, but from first person, can't you tell that, wow, isn't this a beautiful valley that has been fully drained? Honestly, it looks like it probably could have been done in like a day with some sponges and some determination. If I really want to, I have enough sugarcane now that I can entirely cover this river with sugarcane on one of the sides, which is of course a ridiculous idea that I'm not doing in the slightest. Honestly, I go mad with sugarcane power the moment I get an opportunity to. Okay, we're finally here. 18 emeralds, and I can get myself Silk Touch. This pickaxe is actually starting to get a little bit loaded with enchantments. Like, we could go for efficiency, and then it'd be even better, right? Okay, let's go to the top of that mountain. Now we can finally start farming some ice. And so obviously this works just fine on a small scale like this, but if you want a lot of ice, like to cross your entire world, ignoring the size of the world, but if you want to cross that whole world, well, you know what? This isn't going to be big enough, is it? It's just not enough. You need to be farming a lot more ice, so we're going to be going bigger than this. So it started raining while I was making a staircase up, and usually I'd be mad at the rain, but this might actually be the perfect circumstance to be like, hey, when you see the snow, you know you're at frozen lair. You know that when we place some water down, which we're going to do now, maybe, we'll place a single bit just over there, and it's gonna flood a lot of this mountain. Not my problem. Anyway, so something you're gonna notice is that the water will freeze because we're in snow lair, I hope. Ah, there we go. Point proven. Look at that. Oh god, what the heck? No. Okay, thank god. What? I'm so confused. Everything in these worlds is just very slightly buggier. And that includes placing slabs sometimes, apparently. Anyway, I'm now 3/4 of the way through this little adventure. I do honestly have to say, it says something interesting about, like, the state of, you know, like, let's call it Minecraft YouTube or something. Where it's like, this is like a normal video. Like, yeah, you just spend 16 hours goofing off. It's been a lot of fun, because 100 days in some weird, quirky world is a much more interesting experience. It just has to be said. I'm doing all sorts of things I wouldn't normally do, and I guess that's a good thing. Like, yeah, you know, I think it's better to have a long-term survival world, but also I like that I'm slowly making these weird one-off attempts at farms in this temporary world. Like, isn't there something just charming about this little ice farm? Oh, I haven't filled in the last bit of glass. Isn't there something charming about what is almost an ice farm? And now, if out of nothing but pure necessity, I have a much easier way to get ice, pretty much on demand. All I have to do now is the most terrifying thing, because my crouch doesn't work because of the edge of the world, and I have to make myself an ice pathway from one ice farm to the other so I can farm ice between them. While we're in the end part of this, I think an important thing, again, I think infrastructure in your Minecraft world always important. Ways to get you doing things that you want to do better is a great idea. However, something else that I think is important and maybe understated is placing wooden slabs all over your flower forest. You know, it's weird. This is the first boat that I've crafted in 80-ish days of playing on this world. And it's interesting that I haven't done it before now, given I spent so much effort on the waterways that I haven't used. So you know what? Let's treat myself. Let's fly off. Oh, God. Man, that was a cool 360, huh? Let's fly off and let's go for a little ride around the world, shall we? Isn't it nice being able to navigate the world? It sure is nice. Better go under this bridge real quick. Wow, I'm glad it was built so high so my head doesn't get caught. What a beautiful bridge it is, too. Ooh, we get to pick which way we go because the river forks into two. What a great Minecraft feature this is. I'd better go to the left because I see sugarcane, and I sure do love some sugarcane, I do. Man, you get some really weird views from down here, huh? Oh, another bridge that is also raised up enough so my boat can get through. What a great consideration. And oh, it seems for some reason the river is like dammed up in a way, it seems. Huh, that's so strange. Did this used to be a river and now it's not? Wow, I think it's cool that it's this way now. Okay, so my next project involves smelting down all of my cactus farm that I've just chopped up. And I'm gonna take this cactus green for my absolutely genius idea. I have so much grand and so much gravel anyway. So much sand and so much gravel anyway is how you'd actually say that. You know, maybe I've been sleep deprived. Maybe I'm playing too many days of Minecraft, some would say, because we can make some green concrete powder now. The best thing that I can do with this, honestly, when you look at the block, especially from all the angles, is it really looks like, you know, like optifine grass or beta grass or whatever you know this type of grass is, right? But it really does have that sort of a vibe. I want to have some grass that's actually just concrete powder that is just a random splodge in the world. Because honestly, I love the idea and it's very inspiring. And this is one of those projects I really want to do sometime. Replace an entire, like, plains biome, but with green concrete powder. Just to see if anyone even notices, you know? I think that would be beautiful. It's gonna hurt to do, but I'm finally turning my bones that I've collected over the last 80 days into bone meal. And I'm gonna make myself a bunch of red dye. And fortunately, my world had a flower forest, so I have quite a fair few dyes. and now I can get all the red dyes that I want. And now that I have some red concrete powder as opposed to green, I think I'd do something that is really important, especially given, you know what, you're watching 100 days of my Minecraft. I clearly have some feelings for you, internet, but I need to express them in a way that you'll always be able to see on my map. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think I can do a very good heart. Let's see what my first attempt looks like. Honestly, this went better than I thought, but I think it needs to be bigger because on the map it's not showing correctly. We need to use 2x2 blocks to do this exact same thing. Wow, doesn't this totally make up for all those terrible things that I said about your mother? I mean, you didn't hear those terrible things, but I did say them. But look, I love you. Oh god, no I don't. Look at the... On the map it actually looks fine, but in person it is not a heart by any definition. That's so interesting the way that works. So I was thinking, while mining some ice for my inevitable packed ice highway, because I am going bigger and better, because my whole like green biome probably isn't going to work out too well, why don't I instead, given that I've harvested all the trees from this biome, there are no trees left in this world, why don't I make it so there is precisely one tree and it's a big tree. It's a tree worth looking at, and so that's my project idea. You ever wonder why rain doesn't make concrete powder turn into concrete? Nope, just me. Okay, so the start to this tree is going to be a big old circle. I feel like you can't go with too natural of a circle or it looks unnatural because nature doesn't use defined shapes. So we're going to go for a very deliberately lopsided tree. Something a little bit like this, you know, like it's not a natural circle. It vaguely follows a circle, but in some really weird, almost twisted ways. Okay, so this is what I've come up with. As you can see, it's very nice. It actually looks very bizarre without top. I think we have to get off to really appreciate. You know, just like many things in life, you just got to get off it to appreciate it. And there we go. It doesn't... It works kind of. Like, you can see it's very heavy on some sides, more than others, though. So I think I need to, like, do a little exterior work. And then what I want to do is I want to have some branches. Okay, so I'm having some conceptual issues with my tree, but that's fine because you know what we get for the first time? That's right, one of these pillager raids has spawned, and I don't know if I want to fight this, but... it's my only chance of getting a totem and dying, so I guess I might as well try. Before we do any of that craziness though, I want to first of all build my ice bridge over the tree so I can kind of form the tree around it. That's my grand vision I want to see working here. Oh, and isn't it a beautiful tree, by the way? Oh, I could spend all day looking at this. Absolute delight of a, of a build. Okay, now it's time for the real work. It's a pillager raid on hard/hardcore difficulty. That is that is a full 7 waves of genuinely challenging fights that I hope we can survive. I mean, worst case, my villagers living in there will be fine. It's just everyone else that we have to worry about. Oh lord, oh god, oh man, I'm gonna die. The villagers are gonna die. It's all terrible. It's all terrible. I'm gonna level view. I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can do this. Okay, take 2. My plan this time is to use actual strategy. I'm gonna light them on fire. I'm gonna use crossbows, attack them from far so I don't get any damage myself. I'm just gonna try and minimize the damage I take from enemies. Which is funny, you don't really have to do that so much on the other difficulties. But when you're playing hard and your village is this tiny, I assure you, you do. See, look at this. Isn't this so much more satisfying than going in there and tearing them up? I think you'll find it is. Oh, they're actually coming from lots of angles here, huh? Oh, maybe behind too. Okay, let's just fire them up, fire them up. Pro tip, you can set fire to all your problems in life and they'll go away. Hint, hint, if you're not subscribed to the channel, by the way. If you're not fast enough, but still, it's fun, isn't it? Very satisfying to be a marksman sometimes. And just like this, now I don't need a map anymore because I've got a totem of undying. And so I'm fearless of death, as I very much should be. So I spent forever looking for the last mob in the raid. I couldn't find him and I looked everywhere, but then I realized, wait a minute, he's over here in a boat, enjoying the spectacle that is the dam and the river that has been drained. So you know what? I'm glad you appreciate it, Mr. Illager. Oh god, secretly very glad I have a totem of undying now. Secretly might be the wrong word. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna have to do is just immediately go ahead, get me a second one of those as the backup. Oh, yep. And now you can see why. Hey! That was basically a 2-day job, But now I've got the Master Trader effect, which I definitely intend to use for all sorts of serious things. Well, that seems like a good use for a Tome of Undying too. I mean, sometimes the water bucket technique just doesn't pay off. Doesn't my tree look beautiful from the inside though? So I ran out of birch logs, and it's a good thing I did it when I did, because the tree is perfectly finished. I don't see any situation where this tree isn't perfect. So we're good. We're gonna go enjoy some sleep for the night. I'll be honest with you, I've spent pretty much this entire day trying to work out how I can save that tree, and I don't have any birch logs left. So if I want to fill in that gap, I'm going to need to use some other white blocks, and then I need to use the very few leaves I have to save that leaf formation. But I think we can do it, maybe. Okay, I mean, I did the best with what I had, and now I have a cool little feature for my blue ice boat to go through, or packed ice, because ice is hard to mine. Okay, I'm determined to make this big tree thing work, and so I have another bizarre, but hopefully better idea. I mean, I've got this shaved mountain anyway, that I kind of, carved up all the dirt from. Why don't I use the fact that it's basically in the shape of a tree anyway, as my opportunity to maybe make it into the body, the form of a tree? This is either the best idea ever, or one of the worst, and I won't know until we go. Tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think I have made a giant tree. Sort of. It's too mountainous to be a tree. I think if we add some leaves to the top, and I have 20 leaves left, we can maybe save it, bring it back. But that's a tomorrow task. So I don't want to seem too full of myself, but I think I saved it. I think I did in fact make a giant tree that looks perfect. I mean, have you seen anything else that looks this good? I think the answer is no. Wow, is that a tree? Oh, no, that's my mountain tree. It's very hard to tell. But it's so good that I feel like leaving it over there is a little bit of a missed opportunity. So this area right here, this giant river crossing, is an opportunity to do something else that everyone loves in Minecraft. Yeah, it's a nice little fork in the road, isn't it? I don't know why I like this so much. It's the most basic thing in the world. But just placing slabs as a way to get up a nice little wall, it's great. And now, this is an opportunity to make a bridge. I've got some cobblestone. I haven't built with cobblestone in so long because of the stigma, but you know what? This is my Minecraft video. I'm building with cobblestone, and I don't care if you hate it. I know I've done basically the same project twice in a row here, but one of my guilty pleasures in the real world, and I guess Minecraft, is seeing things go through other things, and just, isn't there something beautiful about this? Just tunneling right through a mountain to the other side of my world. I think there's something beautiful, and you're wrong if you disagree. I've been making a lot of progress on this carrot field, but I think I have a better idea on how I'll be spending the last few days of this world. Okay, I'm now genuinely at the point where I really am running out of days, and I thought I'd be like, yeah, relieved, excited, etc. But I really like this world, and it's going to be a shame to leave it behind, especially because I just had a fun idea that I think will take more than 5 days to complete, but I'm going to have to do some version of it. So given that I've got so much stone from mining in these tunnels, and I can make some of that stone into stone bricks perhaps, I wanted to make a wall at the edge of my world. I don't like that you can just see the endless void, and I don't like that if I ever do extend this world, because that's an option you have, I don't want it to, go immediately into new terrain. I want there to be a wall between me and that new terrain so I can keep the new world out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a lovely bridge into a wall. That can be my last big stand today, and maybe for this whole video. 100 days seems like so much and so little at the same time. I think that's why it works as a concept. Like, it's so big, but also it's like, that's only, 16 hours or so, which just isn't enough to make a full Minecraft world. It's enough to get started, enough to beat the Ender Dragon, if those are your goals. But if you can't defeat the Ender Dragon because of your world, if maybe you have other issues keeping you down, what do you do then? And there's no real answer for that. So my plan to get more stone, rather than smelting up my cobblestone, because that is a one-way process, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go mining a little bit under the ground, and I'll make something beautiful. Okay, my plan to get a lot of stone to build this beautiful wall to keep the new world out when it inevitably happens is I am gonna mine a beautiful void tunnel. Oh, and a fun side benefit of all this stone I'm mining is I guess I'll be able to finally treat myself to some diamond armor. That's a fun thing to do on day 97, I think. And just like this, you can now see I have a portal to the outside world, to the void, if you will. But I also have the exact opposite side of my world doing the same thing, which means, yes, we've mined all 256 blocks of the world, which admittedly isn't that many, although we did it in a 6-block formation. But now I have plenty of stone to work on my final piece for the 100 days. Okay, so right here, this little exit where there is going to be some rivers that are currently very grassy. By the way, isn't it amazing that they're like fully grassed up now? Like, to show you on a map, because it's been a while since we looked at that. It's now just, you genuinely couldn't tell there was a river there, which I think is beautiful. But, you know what, I also now have to do my wool. I've got only a couple of days remaining, so we'll see what we can achieve with the space we have and the blocks we have by making a bunch of stone bricks. As you can see, this is a very attractive wall with a very attractive hole in it. It's actually kind of more of a U shape than a hole, but we're going to now make it a little bit better looking, I hope, with some stairs. Everyone loves stairs, right? Like, famously, they're just the block that everyone wants to have in their life. And then we'll use some polished andesite. Oh no, I want to make this like out here, so like something like that. There we go, high quality. Do the same on the other side now. And look at this progress. This is already looking like a delightful little archway. Yep, this looks good. We can call this done now. Okay, it might have taken me well into the 100th night, but 100 days have passed. I've got my beautiful wall. There is no way to get past this wall on either side. I assure you of that much. It actually is a very grand wall that kind of, it definitely needs more height and more width on both sides. But you know what? 100 days is up. And I feel like, you know, 100 days is meant to be this, like, hardcore, intense challenge series. And this just ended up being, Toycat does a 100-day survival challenge in a weird world type. But I liked it, and allowed me to use my 101st day to show you around. So perhaps you would like to start with my mountain, which is a wood mountain, which I actually just think looks like a chopped down giant tree, which is kind of sad. But still, I love this little wooden mountain that you have to go between to get to the big wall that will lead to the outside of the world. Again, that's a lot of fun. It's a project I'd definitely be spending more time on if I had more resources. And again, it's a fun idea to take for elsewhere. Just like this wood mountain. I think if you just used a taller mountain, it would actually go some really fun places. Just like, I really like that tree. It definitely didn't come together entirely. But again, the idea is nice, right? There's an idea in there. It just wasn't fully represented. Like having a boat go through a tree is very satisfying. Like, I honestly think as you look around this world, you can see that what I really seem to like in Minecraft are these weird, like, infrastructure style projects. I've got the bridge over there. I've got this lovely acacia bridge. I think it adds really nicely to the environment going to this wooden mountain. I've got my giant ice skyway that I don't need to use because it's such a small world. But yeah, there's nothing, like, I guess I've got a lot of bridges. Man, seriously, if you count 1 bridge, 2 bridge, that's like a bridge, right? Okay, 3, 4, 5. I built 5 bridges. Did I just spend 100 days building bridges? It kind of looks like I did. Oh, also, I made all of the trees go extinct. I forgot about that one. But there are no more trees. The place where there was a forest now has a bunch of flowers. I think that's pretty. Could have made some more flowers, but I think this is enough to kind of show that, like, yeah, this is gone now. This is just like society. I want it flattened so we can make room for things that people like. Honestly, yeah, if I had more days, I'd probably just extend the village, build more bridges, and make this sky ice highway go more places. Okay, so this is my sky ice highway. It's delightful, as you can see. It may be a little tricky to make this tight corner over here, but that's fine. Here is my much faster packed ice highway, and look how delightful it is. It takes you all the way through this tree, gives you a view of the wooden mountain, the edge of the world, and then even flies you straight into the river. No, it doesn't! Well, there goes 100 days. That's why you leave the totem undying in your offhand, I guess. Thank you for watching. There goes the tour. There goes the video. And I guess I'll see you for the next one of these. I'm never doing a 100-day video again. This is the worst YouTube trend to jump on. If you want to see more survival content, that is the majority of what we do here on this channel. I like survival Minecraft. I like adding some challenge to it. I like doing some weird building. And if you like the weird way I play Minecraft, you can see more of that every single day on your homepage by subscribing. Goodbye. Big salmon. Heavy, heavy. Big salmon. Heavy, heavy. Salmon, 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 salmon. Woo! Love big salmon.